Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Co-op Banjo Kazooie with me, RockPaperMario.
And me! Not splittable infinitive. I've been replaced.
She's been put back together infinitive. Reunified infinitive.
There you go, that sounds better.
Then re-put back together.
I'm pretty sure that re-put back together is probably either not a real word or probably just hyphenated.
Yeah.
Several times.
Okay, I just picked up the jiggy that you couldn't get in the last video.
We should explain why I couldn't get the last...
You can do that so while I'm trying to do this thing with the water level, because I'll have to concentrate.
Yes, okay, so I'll go ahead and explain that. First of all, I was having a very off day, as you could tell. Actually, I was not having an off day. I blew through Rusty Bucket Bay like a freaking champ. Like, I was professional level. But then, the old empty barn was not so empty after all.
It was like the old, slightly occupied part.
Exactly. So, the old empty barn was, in fact, the site of a horror story. I died. So anyway, and that was the first of the frustrations, because we thought, it being like... what was it, midnight over here, and like 5 o'clock in the morning for you. We were like, well, we could go ahead and get all the notes off screen, and then we could start recording again, la 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 la, when, and then you can record, you know, doing all the stuff before leading up to Click Clock Wood, and I was like, fine! As you would say, I wasn't in a good humor for it, so...
Yeah. And we kept having to think up of new ideas to fix the new problems that kept coming up.
Exactly. So what ended up happening is, first of all, we went. I went to go do the puzzle for.
This reminds me of a puzzle.
So you have a little boy, a friend,
as your apprentice.
Anyway, so I went to go do the puzzle, but then I forgot that you have to, like, press the switch to have the puzzle. And I was already all pissed off, so, like, I was just like, ugh. So anyway, we did everything that needed to be done to get ready for the next level. And then, right after I finished recording, it blue-screened. My computer blue-screened. And
just when we were saying bye, everybody, and...
Yes, just as we had finished everything, my computer blue screened, so I was like... You're doing this, yeah! I was just like, Harry, you're doing this at the beginning. I'm sorry. I've had enough! But I thought I'd just let you guys know that the second time I went through Rusty Bucket Bay, I didn't die. Even in the engine room, I did not die, so...
Whereas when I did was going through the Rickety Biscuit Bay, then like I had like an awful time.
And it was odd, because I thought I was going to do really terribly, because that's how, that was my experience of the past. So. But it all worked out pretty well, I guess, in the end.
All's well that ends well.
Dun-dun-dun. I'm pretty sure we were thinking, like, oh, we'll laugh about this later.
Yeah, we didn't laugh. Where am I going? I'm not supposed to go into this pipe. This Piepa.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Which
this
pipe?
Piepa, like on Piepa. I was going into the wrong... I'm not supposed to go into any pipe. I just decided to go into a Piepa.
Are you playing the right game?
Yes.
This is Banjo Kazooie, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not... Banjo Kazooie.
Or like... Super Mario 64 or anything.
Yeah.
Talking about pipes.
Or it's not Smoker's Paradise, the game, or something.
That is not a real game. Really?
Not yet. It's like you have to die by the age of 40 to win.
Oh, man. And if you do it by any other means other than lung cancer,
well, no, emphysema might, like, work, I don't know.
True, yeah.
I remember there used to be this ad, like, for anti-smoking, or wait for, like, warning you that smoking causes cancer. And what it used to be was it would show like a guy cutting up like an aorta or something, or no, some like blood vessel or something like that.
Yeah.
And like he'd it's like the thing was all like he'd like squeeze it and a load of yellow paste would come out.
Ugh.
And I just used to think it looked like chewed up Pringles. So yeah.
What the hell?
It did, that's exactly what it looked like, was chewed up Pringles.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah. Like when like my brother and I were small, if we didn't want to go to school, what we used to do was like we'd have Weetabix for breakfast, but we just like chew it up and then spit it into the toilet. And then like say we got sick.
You're terrible.
Not gold fingers, gold feathers.
I bet your parents didn't fall for it.
No, my mom always knew that Jason was lying, but she never knew that I was lying. Because as you know, I'm good at like lying.
Yeah. Lying your way into truths.
Yeah.
So having
20 gold
sandcastle fun
feathers
times?
you get. New maximum 20 is. Gold feathers you may have 20, but something, I don't know. I went out the door, I was like, yeah, shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Shut up. We were talking about Looney Tunes for like an hour before we started this riddle.
Well, first when we started, we were like, let's start at 3 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock now.
Yes,
Because we
much.
decided to, like, Amanda made breakfast. She made a messy egg and a small fry.
Well, okay, I was gonna have toast. But then I realized we didn't have any bread. So I was gonna have cereal. But then I realized we didn't have any milk. So I was like, do we have anything edible in this house? So I looked and we had 2 eggs.
And she ate one of them.
Yes, and then he's like, you need milk to make scrambled eggs. And I was like, you do with what you got. And I just made just scrambled eggs just with like egg.
Yeah, because I said that if it doesn't have milk, then it's just a messy egg. It's just a messy fried egg.
It tasted delicious. I put salt and pepper in it, and it tasted perfect.
I think you're delicious. Back to Looney Tunes.
Oh, okay. I forgot what that was. Actually, like anytime I think of delicious, I think of that like one tiny part in Spaceballs where like he's sitting next to Jabba or like Pizza the Hut, and he like licks part of it, and he goes, "You're delicious."
No, I always think of that episode where Sylvester is in the AA program, the Birds Anonymous thing. And remember he like eats them.
Yes.
No, this isn't the way to Click Clockwood. Show me the way to Amarillo. Na 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 na.
You know what's weird?
What?
I can't remember. My incessant memory loss. That's weird.
Go away, you mine.
No,
Mind
seriously.
your own business.
Oh god. I had the worst memory lapse ever the other day, and I'm about to share this story with you. So I was at Chick-fil-A with a few of my friends, and if you don't know
You were
this...
at what?
Chick-fil-A, it's a restaurant where you eat chicken sandwiches.
Chicken legs.
No! They're chicken sandwiches, and like, they only
With
have...
legs on them.
No. They only have Chick-fil-A's in like southeast United States, but it's very good. So I was there with a couple of my friends, and I accidentally ordered a spicy chicken sandwich when I meant to order a regular one because I don't like spicy food.
And it was too spicy.
It was very spicy. So so I kind of ate a couple bites, and I was like, oh god, this is spicy. And then my friend was like, do you want mine? Because it's not a spicy sandwich, and I can eat
It's not the spicy meatball.
And I was like...
No, go away, Bull. I don't want any of your bull today.
So I was like, you don't mind? And he's like, no. And then I was like, but I already took a bite out of mine. And he goes, oh, it's okay, I could solve that problem. And he took a bite out of his own sandwich. I'm like, yeah, it's because of symmetry. I was worried about the symmetry of the situation. But the worst part is, he put his sandwich back in the bag and gave it to me, whereas I just handed my sandwich to him. And then I took the sandwich out of the bag to eat it, and I looked at it because there was a bite taken out of it, and I'm like, what is this? Like, literally, 2 seconds ago, I watched him take a bite out of the sandwich.
That's brilliant.
And then I took it out of the bag and was like, I got a sandwich that has a bite in it.
When you were talking about the symmetry, it reminds me of like, Joe, there's that Sesame Street where Ernie and Bert have the cookies, and Ernie is like, he like breaks the cookie in half so they each get a half.
Yeah.
And Ernie's like, oh no, my one's a bit bigger, Bert, let me just eat it. And then he's like, oh no, now your one's bigger, let me just eat another bit of it. And then he ends up eating the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
So was the chicken sandwich good afterwards?
Oh, absolutely. The chicken sandwiches at Chick-fil-A are amazing. But, are we starting Click Like Wood? This is my favorite level.
I'm just going solving the puzzle because this reminds me of a puzzle.
Ooh.
Luke, try your hand at this puzzle. I don't know why Leighton sounds like David Bowie all of a sudden. He's like, try your hand. It's like, so, the labyrinth is a piece of cake, is it? Well, let's see how you handle this little slice.
But that's not fair!
She says it in the most annoying voice imaginable. She's like, but that's not fair!
You say that quite a lot. I wonder where your basis of comparison lies. Oh man, that was probably like the most profound thing he said in that film.
He's profound in that whole movie.
I know.
Especially when he's doing like I do and like lying her to Trush or whatever.
No, he kind of just like goes a little off the wall with his definitions of slave.
Yeah, just let me rule you and I'll be your slave.
I know.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No, I think like the best part of that is like right after she like monologues him to death, he has like the most disappointed face ever. He's just like,
yeah,
you have no power over me. Oh,
and it's like, oh,
darn!
It's like, for fuck's sake. And I would have gotten away with it too if
it weren't for that meddling monologue.
Yeah. It sounded like the most rubbish play I've ever heard in my life anyway.
I know.
And like I like hate her character in that movie. So even at the start she's like giving out about having to babysit, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake, it's the least you could do. Like, it's not that much of like, it's like, in fairness, you could just like rehearse your stupid play at home. There's no one saying that you have to go to the stupid park and prance around in a stupid dress practicing your play in the rain.
I know. Well, what I was thinking, I was like, well, I guess I can see how that gets annoying, but she's just like, ugh, I hate you! Ugh, you want me to die! Ugh!
And her stepmother actually seems like a nice woman, if you ask me.
I know.
She's a nice lady.
You're not my real mom, Deborah!
Deborah. Deborah is just a perfect name as well. It's just like,
perfect name for a stepmother.
Deborah!
That
her name wasn't Lardna. You're not my real mom. Lardna!
It's probably what Pokey said. That's why he went on his like murderous rampage.